And I'm hoping we don't have too much trouble with the internet, although the storms are rolling in. I thought that they would be over by now, as we're now into autumn, but it seems that the weather is communicating something else entirely. So I'll always just jump onto another internet if I need to. Let's begin in our child's pose, please. If you do have blocks, it can be really amazing to place your hands on your blocks. If you find that your knees hurt a little, having a blanket close by to place underneath the knees can be great. And then if you do have yoga blocks, place your hands on yoga blocks, stretch your hands forward, soften baby between your thighs, and then drop through the chest so that you feel lots of length through the chest and some sensation through the shoulders as well. If you don't have yoga blocks, don't worry about it. If baby's really big, you can always rest into your palms and create a bit of space for chest and baby. And in our early labor flow, we always come into the child's pose to invite an awareness of the labor to come or the labor that is happening, but also to set intentions, which is what I teach in the couples workshop. One intention to manage negative behavior patterns in your own self. So how you spin out, what pushes your buttons, and creating a positive intention around that so that when you create it at the beginning of the labor, you are able to manage your stress factors. It could be that when you do feel intensity, you tend to move into shutting down and putting walls around you, or you get frustrated easily and say things that you don't mean. Whatever it is that you tend to do when you are in intensity, create a positive affirmation for that. I will meet my labor with calm and equanimity, for example. The second intention that we create is for a complete and whole positive birth experience, an intention that really settles us into baby's process as well. And that intention could be as simple as I am connected to the goddess, I'm connected to the divine through this process, and I allow the divine to move through me, or I allow my baby through my body with ease. So just settling for a moment into those intentions, particularly for you, Maxine. As we take bigger breaths to the back of the ribs, just 3 or 4 more. And gently coming onto all fours. You can take the blocks away if you were using blocks. Pause a moment in neutral, bringing your awareness inwards, feeling into your body, relaxing the uterus and the round ligaments. And then beginning movement by initiating the breath first. Then lifting the tail, sinking baby, press into the palms, reach through the heart and gaze. Complete the inhale breath, begin the exhale, and then begin the movement. Containing each movement within each breath cycle. And use this as a moving meditation for some round. The next time that you complete an exhale breath, complete that breath and come to neutral spine. We're moving slowly and intentionally today, just holding space for labor. Please extend your left leg back and then swing your left leg around in a quarter semicircle and place the left foot on the ground opposite your right knee. Keep your palms exactly as they are. Roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. Engage inner left thigh. Press into the palms. Take 3 breaths through cat and cow once again. The movements will be slightly more condensed. You'll begin to feel sensation down the inner thigh. We're creating space, getting the abductors and adductors ready for the pushing stage. Beautiful. From here, please walk your hands forward. Keep that left leg turned on, and then draw your heart down towards the ground. It might reach, it might not. It's all perfect. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here in this melting heart. Still exploring the extension through the left leg. Walking your palms back to underneath your shoulders. Dynamic movement for lymphatic flow. Reach your right arm high up to the sky. Open the heart to the right. Exhale, slide your right arm underneath your left. Touch your shoulder to the ground or to your block or cushion. Inhale, sweep your right arm high up to the sky. And exhale, slide through, deepen. One more time. Inhale, sweep and reach. Exhale, take that right arm through. Allow the shoulder to deepen into the ground. Stella, walk your right palm and catch your left ankle. Just Stella. Grip the left ankle. The rest of us, arms relaxed on the ground. You have 2 choices. You can reach your left arm forward, or you can take it into a half bind behind your spine. Baby's weight is going to drop into the diaphragm. You might feel a slight deepening sensation through the breath, the shortening of the breath. Stay relaxed and allow. We are working through the endocrine system, bringing balance to the glandular body for a beautiful, unimpeded physiological labor. No interruptions, simply laboring as your body needs to. One more breath here. Place your left palm to the ground. Inhale, sweep your right arm up to the sky, high. Bring both hands to the earth. Spin your left foot forward slightly and sit down onto the ground. Sorry, your right foot. Right foot in the inner left thigh. Beautiful. Slide your left arm down the length of the left leg. Sweep your right arm around behind your spine. And then deepen to the left side and drape your head over your left shoulder for a deep neck release. Feel the neck stretch through the right neckline. You can choose your place by either lifting the chin slightly or dipping it, whatever feels right for you. Perhaps keeping your eyes closed and simply exploring the sensations. Relax your right palm and arm. Slowly rise. Beautiful. Place your right palm to the ground behind you. And inhale, press onto your right shin, lift your baby. And this creates space through the top of the pelvis to drop baby deeper behind the pubic bone. And also allowing for any rotation if needs be. Gently come on down and take a normal breath. Shift weight onto your right shin. Keep your left leg out opposite the right knee, but slide the foot inwards. It'll look like this. Rise, place your left forearm to your left thigh. Swing low to the left side. Inhale, sweep your right arm up and around. Find your rhythm. Labor is all about finding your rhythm. And if you go with the flow and the rhythm of labor, there's no resistance, only opening. Place both palms on the ground next to your left foot and rock slightly side to side. You might roll onto the right heel and then press to the left. Come on down and press to the left. Again, it's all about creating space, keeping the body relaxed as you do this. Rhythmic movements. Beautiful. From here, slide your left foot forward just a little bit and come onto all fours. You're now taking that left foot off to the diagonal slightly and stirring the pot around in big circles. These are the early labor flow movements that really do help you have an easier time with it. Beautiful circles through the hips. Changing direction whenever you wish. Inviting the openness. As you close your eyes, visualizing baby's journey and the way opening for your baby. Beautiful. Heel toe your left foot onto the mat now and just rock forwards and back several times. Straightening your left leg, flex the foot, slide the heel forward. Lift the toes to face the ceiling. Inhale, increase the flex, lift the gaze. Exhale, point the toes and gently bow. Continue for a few more flexes with the raised gaze and then a deeper bow. Finally, take that flex of the left foot, walk your palms forward, and simply soak up the stretch. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax the head. Become aware of the horizontal patterning in the body, the horizontal tissues, the tentorium through the brain, through the TMJs, the temporal mandibular joint, around the jawline, to the horizontal tissues at the breathing apparatus of the diaphragm, reflecting the horizontal tissues of the pelvic diaphragm, pelvic floor muscles. When there's tension in one place, there's often tension in other places too. So see if you can find balance, inviting deeper breaths, the softening through the brain, softening through the pelvic floor. Gently bring that left knee back and onto the mat. Cat and cow, deep full breaths. If it feels good for you now to roll the hips out as well, that's perfect. These movements will feel good in early labor. By active labor, not so much. That's when you know, that's when you know. Baby's getting deeper, and the hip rolls will feel good when you're standing, but on all fours, because of the shape of the hip joint and the bone, it doesn't give us quite as much space as when you're standing, nor as much sturdiness. And suddenly the circles of the hips just won't feel quite the same. Come to center now. On your inhale, extend your right leg back. Swing the right leg out in a quarter semicircle until the right foot is opposite your left knee. Roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Take a few more cat and cows with the extended right leg, keeping the inseam of the leg turned on as you do so. You might choose to rock slightly in these cat and cows, just noticing how the round ligament on the right side is behaving. Particularly if baby is heavy. Coming to neutral dynamic movement. Into our twist, taking energy through the spine. Inhale, sweep your left arm up to the sky. Keep your right palm firmly to the mat. Exhale, slide your left arm through. Gently bring your shoulder to the ground. Inhale, press into the right palm, sweep your left arm high, take the gaze to the sky. Exhale, slide through and release. One more time. Inhale, sweep. And exhale, thread through. Steady, you can catch your ankle. The rest of us again to take it softer. And you can either take your right arm forward or into a half bind, you choose. Be in the softness of the body, even as the legs are quite sturdy. Let the softening happen through the torso, relax the belly. Place your right palm on the ground, face side. Inhale, sweep your left arm high up to the sky. And then as both hands come to the ground, just slip your left foot forward slightly, roll over the left heel, left foot on the inner right thigh. Slide your right arm down the length of the right leg. Sweep your left arm around in a wide arc. Release the left arm behind you, and then drape your head over your right shoulder, tilting your body slightly to the right to explore the sensations. Close your eyes, soften your interior space, and just listen. Beautiful. Gently begin to lift the torso. Place your left palm to the ground behind you. And if it feels appropriate for you, you can lift your pelvis, lifting your baby, arcing through the heart in a half camel. Reaching back. Gently soften on down. Taking that right foot out again to the right side as you come onto your left knee. And then walk your right foot so that your right knee is now in a perpendicular shape. Raise the torso. Right forearm to the right thigh. Swing low to the right side as you sweep your left arm up, around and over. Deep full breaths, slow movements, rhythmical. Taking the hips through all the rotations in these lunge series. Place both hands on the ground on the inside of the right foot. Shift your weight to the right side and then back to the left heel. Shift to the right, rock back. Keep your body really relaxed. You might even keep your eyes closed. The torso simply goes along for the ride. The sensations are deep in the pelvis. All about creating that space, helping baby to align beautifully to the birth canal. They're snuggling in their perfect position. Beautiful. From here, heel toe the right foot forward slightly and stir the pot now. So roll the hips around in big circles. Right foot is off the right side of the mat as we stir the pot. Again, the focus is on keeping the torso relaxed and allowing all the story that we hold in the hips to move through, continuing to visualize, creating that space, letting the way open for your baby. Explore relaxation in the body and easefulness. The less tension, the easier the labor. Heel toe that right foot forward and rock your lunge backwards and forwards. Right foot now faces the front of your mat. Giving a good stretch down the hamstring without each reverse motion. And then deepening into hamstrings, heel toe foot forward, flex the right foot. Inhale, press into the finger pads, lift the heart. Exhale, bend your elbows out, point your right toes and bow. Continue with a couple of more of those pedals. Until you find the flex and deepen into the stretch to hold. Walking your palms back, coming onto all fours. Open the knees wide. Take 3 breaths in child's pose. We'll then move into a dolphin. If you want to stay in child's pose, you will. Dolphin is also a beautiful shape for releasing the round ligaments to help make more space. Brings extra oxygen to baby as well. Set up for the dolphin. Shift your weight forward. Walk your elbows forward. Place your forearms on the ground. To find the spacing between the elbows, it can be helpful to cross your wrists and touch your opposite shoulders with opposite palms. That's a good spacing for the elbows. Interlace your palms, firmly place your forearms and the interlace onto the ground. Press up between the shoulder blades and scoop baby up and towards the spine. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, and then walk your feet a little bit closer in towards your elbows if you have the space. Keep the knees bent if you need to. Press firmly onto the forearms and push your shoulders back behind the elbows rather than overshooting the elbows. If your hamstrings give you the space, you can straighten the legs. Keep the head relaxed and off the ground and the shoulders broad. Scoop the armpits up as though you're scooping the flesh right up into the holes. This gives us enormous resilience and strength for post-birth as well. We'll take another 3 breaths here if you can manage. Otherwise, you're in your child's pose. Gently come onto the knees, spin the knees outwards. And relax your shoulders completely in your child's pose. Let go, let go. And just a reminder, as we move through labor, to let the wildness, the fullness, the intensity of a surge move through you, but then to find the spaces between the surges. The spaces where your body just melts and relaxes, you come to your breath, softening your whole body space. And it is these spaces between the surges and how you manage them that will dictate how well you manage the whole labor. If you use your spaces and relax into them and let yourself regain energy before the next surge, then it will not feel arduous to get to the end. It will just feel like an intense journey towards birth. Coming back onto all fours, through our cat and cow, maybe rolling out the hips if that feels good, rocking slightly backwards and forwards. Beautiful. Tuck your toes under as wide as your mat. As you walk your hands back, just lift your knees and roll back and onto your heels in a squat at the back of the mat. Soften into that squat, letting the pelvic floor muscles relax here. We often hold more tension than is needed down there. So recognizing how to balance tension, intention, softness, but also an underlying strength that keeps us knitted together. Rocking side to side, these movements, keeping the body relaxed as you rock to side, so helpful again for dilating the cervix as baby gets deeper into the pelvis. The pressure of baby's head and also a relaxed body will allow dilation to happen and impede it. Please remember that the cervix is a sphincter and therefore is bound by the laws of sphincters. And the law of the sphincter is, when I am relaxed, I will open for you. When I am tense, I probably won't. Deepen down and take a few moments. Beautiful. Press into your finger pads, lift your hips, parallel your feet, and then inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands down by your side. Close your eyes for 3 breaths and meditate on the midline through the body. How does it feel? Do you feel like a bit of a banana today? Or do you feel well aligned with a good straight midline from crown right through seat and into the earth? I will offer 2 variations. One variation may be too intense for some of you. And if you feel that'll be the case, or you're struggling with heartburn at the moment, then please bend your knees, place your elbows above your knees, and take a halfway fold. If you want more, you can heel toe your feet again as wide as your mat, bend your knees. Instead of bringing your elbows to your thighs, sweep your arms up in a wide arc. Interlace your hands behind you, release your index fingers, and then squeeze and divot between the shoulder blades. Take a big breath up through the midline of the body. And on your exhale, bring baby between your thighs, cascade your head, let your arms spin, and then press firmly into the feet and slowly peel your legs towards straight as you deepen your forward fold. If baby is big, you're in labor, or anything else, elbows above the knees. The advanced variation is for those of you that are feeling good for it. Place your hands on the mat, walk your palms forward. You're in a wide-legged downward facing dog as you press firmly into the palms, root back into the heels, chest back, neck relaxed. 3 breaths, focus on your exhale breath. Labor breath is in through the nose, and long, soft breaths out of the mouth. Let the breath out through the mouth, in through the nose, one more. Relax the breath out. Lift your gaze and look at your left palm. Replace your left palm with your left foot and place your left palm next to your right. Press up onto the ball of your right foot, engage your right leg strongly. If you have blocks, you can hold onto your blocks. And then from here, slowly begin to lower the hips, keeping an engaged right leg, peel the gaze up. Exhale, press the right heel back, straighten the left leg and bow deeply. 2 more of those pulsations. Deepening down, hips engaged. Again, we are getting the hip flexors ready for the pushing stage of labor. 1 more. And exhale, press back, palms to the ground or keep them on your block, but take a deep bow. Try to keep that right heel behind the toes rather than skewing it in. And this will give you a little bit of sensation through the Achilles as well. Soften your shoulders if they're holding too much tension. Just let them slide away from each other and drop down into the armpits. Walk both hands over to the right side of your mat. Heel toe your left foot into the middle of the mat and swing your right heel down to the ground. Place your left forearm on your thigh. Engage your left shoulder into the socket as you lift your torso. side angle. 3 sweeps of the right arm, big halos all the way around the head. Spread the fingers, draw the arm back and down, purposeful sweeps. Engage strongly through the right leg, try not to crumple the knee. Half bind that right arm again, drape your head over your left shoulder, feel the stretch. Inhale, as you rise, sweep your left arm up and over. You're in reverse warrior. Straighten your left leg, pregnancy triangle, left palm on the shin below the knee. If you have a block close by, stack it at its highest level. Place your left palm on the outside of the shin and onto the block. Unravel the right arm, reach it to the sky. Relax the uterus. This is an incredible pose for helping a baby move around the womb space and into good positioning. Because we're taking the pressure off the iliopsoas, the womb can relax and just drop slightly down. Round ligaments not engaged, baby finds space. And place both hands down onto the mat. Follow with the right knee. Complete with the left knee on the mat. And you're in cat and cow once again. Following the sense of the body, rolling it out if you need to, rocking it out, doing whatever feels good for you in this moment. The more sensuous you can connect to the body in that deep sense of sensuousness, also it assists with labor. All of these movements that help connect to the softness of your body, the strength of your body, the paradox of being a woman, which is that we need to be able to express power and deep, non-resistant softness at the same time. Tuck your toes under towards the outer edges of the mat, walk your hands back, gently slip back and onto the feet and into a squat. Squats feel pretty intense in active labor. In early labor, they still feel good, and it's all about positioning. This squat, my hip bones are pushing inwards, right? So it means my pelvic outlet at the base of the pelvis where my vagina is, there's a bit of impingement. There's this happening. But the top of the pelvic bowl is opening. And that's where you need to open in early labor to create the space. By active labor, when baby's moving down and deeper into the cervix, this won't feel good. And instead, walk your hands forward, come onto hands and knees, bring your knees together, and this will feel good. Spin the heels out, and now you can see, if my elbows are my hip bones, they're pushing outwards. Now my pelvic outlet, not the inlet, the outlet where baby's going to go out. Now I'm creating space there. Walk your hands back, come back into the squat, just rock side to side. So that's also sort of how you can gauge where your body is at. When the squats start to become uncomfortable, you know that you're moving past 5 centimeters of dilation. Straighten the legs, parallel the feet, place your hands on your shins, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, you might choose to take a bit of a forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms, reach for the sky. This is Urdhva Hastasana, mountain pose. Good for assisting baby with gravity downwards. Exhale, arms by your side. Soft shoulders. Close your eyes for a moment and feel. Doing amazing, Maxine. You're so beautiful, so powerful. Again, we have the option of bending the knees and taking a half fold. This could be more appropriate for some of you. If you're feeling good, bend your knees, sweep your arms up, interlace your hands behind you, create space between the thighs for baby fold, and then straighten your legs and deepen, finding a good stretch through the posterior chain of muscles. Place your palms to the mat, walk your hands forward. You're in a wide-legged downward facing dog again. The feet are still as wide as the mat. 3 breaths, labor breath, long breaths out of the mouth, soft breaths in through the nose. Releasing tension out of the body through the out breath. Lift your gaze, step your right palm next to your left and step your right foot where your right palm was. If you have a block close by, it's really useful to hold that block, press up high onto the ball of the left foot. Pulsations, warming up the iliopsoas as well as you release the hips, look up. Keep a vibrant, strong left leg as you press back. Roll the left heel directly behind the toes, straighten the right leg and down. 2 more times. Big breaths, strong movement patterns. Really enjoying the sensations moving through your body. Take it back into the wide stretch and hold. Relax the neck. Walk your hands a little bit over to the left side, heel toe your right foot into the midline of the mat, and spin your left heel to the ground. Check that your heels and the left foot is, right heel and left foot is quite aligned. Right forearm to your thigh. Left arm, sweep in big halos, 3 times, expressive breath and movement. Half bind that left arm behind you, drape your head over your right shoulder. Feel the sturdiness of the legs, trust. On your next inhale breath, arise, sweep that right arm up and over. Take the breath into the right lobes of the lungs. Beautiful. Straighten your right leg. If your block is close by, you can use it just behind your shin or lightly place your right hand on your right shin. Unravel the left arm. Find a broad width across the clavicles in this triangle. And gently place the palms to the ground. Follow through with the left knee to earth, then the right. Cat and cow. Any movement patterns that suit you in this moment. Learning to just flow with your body. To let go of tensions where they need to be released. To keep the throat open, clear. And as you close your eyes, go into the inner vision and see what is there. Connecting to the intentions for labor. Your lifeline through the labor for you, baby, your partner, all 3 of you working beautifully to bring in this baby out and to the other side. Child's pose for a couple of breaths. Just relax back into it. Feel that body broaden. If you're having any back labor, this child's pose can be a great help because it broadens the sacrum so much that it can take some of the intensity out of the lower back. Beautiful. Coming back onto all fours. Just shake the head out slightly, roll it side to side. Tuck your toes under, scoot baby up into the spine by rounding, and then pick your knees up and press back to your downward facing dog. Decide which long edge of the mat you want to face so that you have the best view of the camera, and step one foot forward to rotate to the long edge of your mat. Turn your toes out 40 degrees, 30 degrees, not 40, 30. So just slightly off the straight parallel line. Bring your hands to your hips and rise. Look at your feet again, check that they're just off the parallel, slightly outturned. And then feel into the pelvic area and the hips, and notice how sturdy the body can feel for you. And that you're carrying your baby so beautifully, that center of gravity, creating a vortex of energy in the center of your body. During pregnancy, more than any other time, we can truly explore the power of the hara, which is our center. We have the opportunity to, and we can either experience it as weakness and fall into helplessness, or we can experience this as creatorial power, and we can move into a powerful action of aligning to our principles in life, how we want to bring these children up, as well as how we wish to birth this child. Open your arms up, place your palms up to the sky. Chin slightly down. Take a deep inhale and rotate the thumbs out and back so that your palm faces even more and the knife edge of the little finger rolls up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, spin your palms down to face the ground. Expand your chest forward. Chin stays towards chest. Inhale, rise. Spin the palms up. Palms face the ceiling. Rotate the thumbs back as far as you can. Feel the strength through the shoulders. We're increasing the strength through the heart. Exhale, rotate the palms, take your chest forward halfway, press the seat back, feel the engagement through the inner thighs. One more time. Inhale, rise, up through the midline, feel your center of gravity, rotate the thumbs back. And now on your exhale this time, stay halfway for 2 breaths, hips back, straight, legs strongly engaged, press slightly into the outer rims of the feet. And then swing your palms forward, place them on the ground, walk the fingertips forward, relax your uterus between the thighs, relax your head, and feel the breath move through you. You may feel slightly more tweakiness on one side of the pubic bone than the other. You may even find that there's a weird twingy burning sensation on one side of the labia rather than the other. This is just showing you your tension patterns. As baby gets bigger and deeper and there's more pressure into the birth canal, you'll feel all sorts of sensations through the labia as well. And this is just the weirdness of our lady bits. And it's certainly a journey that we take before we bring baby through. Bringing your hands back to the hips, inhalation, rise. Relax your arms by your side, feel your midline, close your eyes, soften your shoulders, and take a few moments to just be. And there's no way to express the weirdness of having to open for birth. The opening is so vast that please be aware the closing post-birth takes some weeks. Sometimes we feel as though we should just bounce back quick, but we are open for a long time. It takes time to close and come back to normal. Place your hands on your womb space and heel toe your feet until they're hips distance apart. Taking a moment. And then there is one other thing that just needs to be mentioned because it's not mentioned enough. Post-birth, there's a weird thing that can happen as we're still in our openness, and that is, thanks to South Park, called queefing. And I'm mentioning it now because I've had some women say, there's something wrong with me, my vagina is now squeaking. Yes, it talks post-birth. And when you have sex for the first time, there can be all sorts of weird, funny noises. When you do yoga for the first time and lift one leg, sorry if you're a yoga teacher, it's going to take a little while for you to move past your embarrassment. It's just how it is. And then you'll find that you come back slowly to closing. We have to move through the opening. So just be aware that there's nothing wrong. It's just all changed. Coming to stand at the front of your mat, step with your feet hips distance apart, and then gently come on down into the squat and take a relaxed squat now, just meditating on how it is okay to open completely, vastly, fully, to allow our babies through, and to give ourselves patience to knit back together. And then we become something different, something more, something stronger. We have reached the apex of our sense of deepest power, but we also have to recognize our deepest weaknesses and vulnerabilities through this process of motherhood. And at some stage, it all comes back together and we're better than we ever were. It's beautiful. Lift the hips. Gently step the feet back. You're in your downward facing dog once again. And softly come onto hands and knees. Cat and cow, just for a moment, maybe rolling it out. And as with any process of transformation, it gets messy before we find our way back into the neatness. And we have to move through the messiness and all its gloriousness, using my words. Slide your left shin forward and take a pigeon. I am actually going to ask Jessica permission to send a beautiful photo of her labor. We're coming towards the time to bring her baby through the birth canal. She naturally, organically, without prompting, moved into a pigeon in the birth pool. And she stayed in the pigeon on either side for a couple of surges. And after her pigeons, something changed. Again, there was a shift. And I think it was because she had moved fully into complete dilation. And after that, she was just feeling all the sensations. They come right down into the bum. And we feel that sensation deep down. You're ready to bring the baby through. No resistance. You go with the sensations. And so this pose, really over and over, I have seen the pigeon being done in labor that helps with dilation. And if you're in the birth pool, it's comfortable. If you're out the birth pool, the pigeon isn't necessarily comfortable. But it really can help. And from here, let's gently slide that left shin back, rock out the hips a little. And your right shin forward and into your pigeon. Pigeon on the right side. You might notice, Maxine, that one side pigeon feels a lot better than the other. If you wish, you can just take the pigeon on one side if that feels appropriate for you. If you're able to do it on both, that's also fine. It's entirely up to you how you work the pigeon. By the time you're in labor, it's going to feel different than normal. And then after this pigeon, there will be one more shape that we'll explore. Very, very common shape for women to sort of splat out in, because there's so much space and it helps to create more space. And bizarrely, it feels like one of the really comfortable positions in labor, even though pre-labor it's not so comfortable. Beautiful. Shifting the weight back, turning to face the long edge of the mat. You might choose to flip the mat over, optional, so that you've got a bit more underneath the knees, and we're coming into our frog. Like I said, frog is not one of our more comfortable positions, but right now when Maxine comes into her frog, she's gonna go, wow, that actually feels incredibly comfortable. Thumbs up, Maxine, am I right? Or is it like, yep, she's going, that's good. There is something about frog when you go into labor and you do frog a couple of times during the early labor that will really help with dilation. It also helps with getting the perineum ready for the birth, so less trauma to the perineum. And pre-labor, the frog feels like a frog. In labor, frog feels like the best thing since sliced toast. A lot of women tend to almost birth in this position as well. They'll naturally come into this position, particularly in the birth pool, not unusual at all. So it's obviously one of the natural positions for birthing, just creating so much space now. And also coming up towards the pushing stage. And it may seem counterintuitive because the hips are coming in towards each other, the ball joint, but it's higher. So what's happened is the pelvic outlet is now opening at its broadest. A baby has already come through the cervix and into the birth canal. So it can be very, very comfortable and create the space that you're looking for. Slowly lift up onto the forearms or palms. Once again, bring your feet a little bit closer together. Coming out, please be really mindful that you don't tweak anything. So bring your knees together slow, and then relax into a child's pose and just feel. So the other reason that a frog feels good is that it takes pressure off the horse's tail of nerves that come down the sacrum. And that horse's tail can get quite activated as the tail pushes and as the baby's head presses into the back of the spine. And it can feel quite intense, particularly if baby is slightly posterior. So when you come into the frog, you're creating space, you're giving baby that little bit of rotation. They might need to get their shoulders through the cervix. And you're taking the pressure off the lower back and the nerves firing. So all round, it's a goodie. Beautiful. Walking hands back now. Just bring your knees together, sit down on your heels. And closing the eyes, just take a few moments to settle into the breath. Just be with the breath, be with yourself, be with the sensations in your body, holding space here for Maxine as well as she moves through the portals and stepping into a new life, completely, utterly, irrevocably. We are changed in this process. And as you turn your awareness inwards, find the object of the heart. Turning the focus into the heart center. Feeling into the warmth of the heart and surrounding baby with all of your love. Giving yourself compassion and love. And gently turning your awareness to your partner, the divine masculine that holds space for you, the facilitator, safe harbor. And as we take the journey towards birth, sometimes the way can be rough,
There's all sorts of ways that have to be ridden as we learn to communicate in new ways before a child arrives. But more often than not, during the birth, your partners will be an incredible anchor. Hold on to that. Hold on to them. They want to be that anchor, and sometimes we're not allowing them enough. Invite them in. Let go of all the jagged edges and sit side by side. The power of three, you, partner, baby. We are whole. We are perfect. And we walk in the light. Maxine, I hold you in the light. Namaste, my friends. Please take Shavasana.